Wagwan peeps, it's Venom, what you saying? Alongside my home slice, dammy to the zane. When she and I get together on the poddy, ask anybody, the vibes are insane.
Join our family and feel free to come by. We on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah.
New drop on the way every Monday at 6.
Tune in and come see what we unpick. Wagwan people, it's your boy Venom in the building alongside my home slice, dammy to the zane.
Hello, hi. It's Tabby Zane in the building.
Yes,
The number
yes.
one home slice.
Mm-hmm.
What you saying?
Yeah, so we are here in the building, unpicked, ready to give you the 30th episode. Is that where we are at? Damn!
That's where we're at. We're 30 months old.
30.
Oh, dummy.
30 months.
The drink is hitting me already.
The drink is already drinking on you. Okay. So, if you're new to our channel, welcome. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know, we do this every week, 6 p.m. on a Monday. You can find us here. So, yeah, get involved. And obviously, if you're part of the gang already, don't know what's the symbol? The D and the V, we're in the building. Give it to him. Yeah, inside. We got a good show for you today.
Inside.
We're going to be chatting about some things. You know what to expect. A little bit drizzy. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of galley doing things and, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of man getting all of that. So, yeah. So let's get into it.
This or that for you this week.
Mm.
Podcast bestie.
Yeah.
I'm taking it back to the music. We're talking legends, okay?
Okay.
This time we're talking legends that have left us. They've left the spiritual realm. Okay, they've gone to the next life. Where they've gone, we don't know, depending on your faith and what you believe in. Right? My question for you is, which of these artists would have had a more successful career if they had stayed alive?
Okay.
Number one, Biggie Smalls. Or Tupac. Who else am I gonna? Okay. Wow, so fast.
Yeah.
Hey, damn. Okay.
It depends what you're into, but Tupac.
I. Elvis Presley or John Lennon.
That's a tricky one. But I'm gonna go with Elvis Presley, even though I kind of don't want to. But yeah.
All right, cool. Bob Marley
Who did you stack against Bob Marley?
or Fela Kuti.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. yeah.
Oh, that's legendary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who would have had the more Bob Marley or Fela Kuti, you know? Damn.
The clock is ticking.
Damn. I just had someone ask me for Bob Marley. I was DJing this weekend. Someone asked me for Bob. I was like, bruv, I mean, it's anyway. I'm definitely gonna go with damn. See, I know more of Bob Marley's tracks, yeah, but Fela Kuti is like a bit more of a maturer person's artist, and I'm grown now, so I'm gonna say Shizen.
I need to push you because you're stalling.
I fully haven't got an answer, you know.
I need to push you. You can't not have an answer. This is this or that. Can you?
I know.
Talk to your boy. Come on.
Mad. Okay, I'm gonna have to say Fela. I'm gonna have to say Fela, but I feel like that's me just being Nigerian. I swear that.
I mean, you're Caribbean too. So.
I know, but not Jamaican. I'm not Jamaican.
Oh my God, don't say that. I don't co-sign. Okay, cool, fella. Cool. Okay, it doesn't end. Because I got 3 more for you.
Oh, wow, okay.
Prince
I know who you're gonna say, but go on.
Or George Michael?
Oh, no, Prince.
Cool. Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Or Aretha Franklin?
Whitney.
Okay. And you know what's coming next, because how can I talk about legendary people that have passed?
I know, but I thought he was gonna marry them with someone else.
This, not Prince. Can't be Prince.
That's what everyone says. That's why I was like,
hold on. They're not comparable. If you know your music, you know they're not comparable. He's not comparable really with this person, but in terms of like in their fields, where they're placed, I think it's the closest I can get.
I can only think of one other person.
Michael Jackson or Freddie Mercury.
Oh, thank God. Michael Jackson.
Who did you think I was going to say?
I thought he was going to do James Brown. I was like, whoa.
I could have.
Yeah, that was...
I didn't think of that.
That would have been tough.
I still think MJ would have topped James Brown.
No, for sure. But like...
But remember, the question is not who it was the best artist. Yeah,
who would have
time.
The
question would have had a long... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Michael would outlast anybody.
I'm going to be honest. Michael was actually on his last legs when he was on his last legs.
Mm.
I think more his predecessing work would have carried him on more than his newer work.
Oh, no. I like his new stuff. Like You Rock My World.
No, I liked his new stuff. But even You Rock My World was still some time before.
Not that much.
Died. Okay. All right. I watched a documentary about his last few months, years.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael was really slowing down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not to say he wouldn't have still been a legend. I think he would have still been a legend. But because his predecessing work is so magnificent and so great.
So iconic.
So iconic. I think that's more what would have happened. Not me holding my drink up while I'm talking like we're at a club.
We're in a club.
Okay. I guess that takes us to what's hot.
Yeah, man. So we in the booth right now. Fresh off the press and that. Dami Zane's personal sweet lover boy.
My boo.
October's very own. Look, not you with the Puff Daddy ad-libs. Anyway, he dropped an album out of nowhere.
Honestly, never mind.
Yeah, honestly, never mind. Fitting title. What do you think? What do you think about it?
How dare you? How very dare you? I'm not impressed.
Huh? No. What are your thoughts about?
How dare you? How do I feel about it?
What are your thoughts?
I have banged this album bears already.
Really? More than the last?
I'm getting ready. I'm banging it. I'm driving, banging it. I wake up, the first thing I'm playing is Drake's album. There's a few tracks on there. I'm already singing along, doing harmonies with my babes. Yeah, man.
Said harmony, you know?
I'm here for it. On a serious note, I think I liked the album because I already liked house music.
Yeah.
I've got a very eclectic music taste. I've always loved house. I do like oots music, which is what people are referring to it as. I like that sort of music. And I think the summertime is the best time for that sort of genre. Yeah. And I respect it. Drake, aka that singing.
The singing
leap, yeah. I love Drake no matter what he does. I'm a stand by him. What's the thing?
He's mine, I'm a stand beside him.
He's mine, I'm a stand beside him. Forever. But sometimes when he, like in the past, when he was doing his hip hop tunes and he was singing on it, I was like, babes, you're not an R&B artist. You could have just got someone to do the singing parts for you. But in this album, my guy's doing falsetto. My guy's hitting high notes. I was like, swear down, harmonizing. Okay. And I think it works for the genre of music.
It works.
It works for the genre of music that he is entering into. Now, my babes is a businessman. Nobody said he was an artiste. He's not like some of these other artists that are also producers and that. He's not a Kanye West. He's not a Kendrick Lamar. He is not a J. Cole. He is Drake. And what Drake is very good at is jumping on types of genres for commercial reasons. This is how I described it to someone I was talking to earlier this week. People like Kendrick Lamar and Kanye West produce work that is like the Mona Lisas of this world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, real expensive art, rare, one of a kind work. That's what they produce. Drake produces like mass production
At McDonald's
art. He produces that stuff that you find on those, you know, like some of those brands that be selling up those poster pictures that you can put up in your house.
Oh, like Eat, Pray, Love.
Them type things. That's a Drake.
Damn.
Piece of work.
Yeah.
Everyone's got something like that in their house. People appreciate it. It looks nice. But it's not a Mona Lisa. It's not a rare, only one piece. You can only find that in the museum or in an art exhibition, and you get posters of it, but you don't have the real thing. It's not a collector's item like that. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
100%.
Okay, cool. But it still makes money though. Them Eat, Live, Pray, them things there.
Yeah.
Sold mass production, they sell. So it's business minded. Drake, and I've said this in the past, he doesn't create bodies of work that's like a body of work. He's looking for bangers so that get played in the club. And I feel right now he's trying to appeal to a bigger market. He's like, listen, you lot that like rap, that like your urban music, you've got that. Cool. I want to appeal to a different market. I'm trying to broaden my horizons. I'm trying to widen my my supporters, my fans. And I think he's successfully done that. My only critique of this album is I don't like the one rap song at the end.
Weird.
I feel like it's so out of place. This is not a hip-hop album. It is not a rap album. That's not the vibe Drake was going for. And I also think the production's fantastic. I think for the genre of music he's trying to tap into, the genre of music he wanted to provide, he executed it very, very well. Do you understand me? He executed it very well. I can see Drake working with Calvin Harris now since he's bagged the Oots. Might drop a little I'm a Piano track. I can see it.
You know what? I was actually really surprised that there wasn't more like straight up Afro influence. Like the way it happened for me was I was up super late on the Thursday night, so I saw his post and I was like, oh snap, man's dropping. And I was like, but I'm up late and like I'm up late, like I'm not staying up any longer than I have to. I'm trying to get my ass to bed, so I'm gonna hear this in the morning. Woke up in the morning, press play, the intro was playing. And as the intro was playing, I think this is even when I messaged you or was messaging you. And then I read in the description as it was playing, dance. And I said, did they label this wrong? And then it got into the first track and I was like, no, they didn't. Okay,
No, they didn't.
We're doing this. Is this really what we're doing for the whole thing? Track after track after track. I liked it. I did not like it. I'm just messing around when I say, you know, I said,
You're just trying to trigger me.
I
It's
enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie.
Typical.
I haven't played it again. I do need to play it again, but I did enjoy what I heard. But I did not enjoy the rap track. Definitely a summer album. It's got nice vibes. And he still was trying to give like quotable narratives in the lyrics. There was a little bit, and I get it. It's the genre, and it's obviously going to be a problem for me mixing the genre with that artist. But there was a little bit of repetition that I was like,
I don't think the lyrics were strong in this album, but I didn't expect. But after I heard the intro and the first track, Falling Back, I was like, this song is not about lyrics. And people took to Twitter. People were like really upset about this album. And I was like, you lot just don't appreciate that genre of music. Just say that. It doesn't mean the album's crap. The people that like that genre of music will appreciate it for what it is. Because it's actually a really good production, really good house tracks.
Yeah, no. Some of them beats were...
For the Uts dance music, some of the beats were lit for the genre of music. If you don't like that genre, don't listen to the album. That's fine. I give him his props. I might sound biased because he's my babes, but deal with it. I'ma stand beside him. That's my man.
Well, if you've been on Instagram, my second home, then you may have seen that a particular lady has gone viral for starting a dick riding class where she teaches women the basics and alternative techniques for how to ride the D, but obviously not using the D. So yeah, how do you feel about that? Would you attend such a class if if we reverse the hands of time? And
you're asking the viewers, right? You're not asking me.
Oh, sorry. I mean, would you attend such a class, viewers?
Okay, because I'm thinking. Hey.
So how do you feel about it? What's your initial thoughts?
If people need the class, let them go to the class, innit?
She swigs, I saw it, right? I saw it because I follow Shaka Bars. I don't know if you follow Shaka Bars, but he was doing. He's got like a new here's some sage for your blood clot thing that he keeps ending certain videos with, and he did it on that one. But low key, I kind of feel like that class should exist. I think that class is a bit more important than people actually think it is, because those are some necessary skills that people should have, and it's an education that not everybody necessarily gets.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
So I don't think, even though it is a bit wild, and obviously because of the way it's been presented, it's even more wild. But I feel like people shouldn't be shamed for that. Dami Zayn. Yeah, man.
Oh,
it's refreshing.
God. Oh, on a hot summer's day. I tell ya. We need that on a t-shirt.
That's got to be one of the merch as well. That's definitely got to be on the merch. We're making merch,
oh
sorry.
My Lord.
Whilst Dami collects herself, I'll just let you guys know we're doing up merch. It's coming, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say when. Just know that it is happening.
It'll happen.
Unpicked
Trust
in a
me.
store near you. It's called online, but yeah, we'll be there soon.
Trust me. I think so. I feel like, okay, let's make this serious. Yeah, I feel like some people do, or some women. Well, yeah, I can only speak for women. I feel like some women probably do worry about their technique in the bedroom, and so I think it's empowering in a way to go to a class. I'm guessing it's because I've not seen this, but I'm guessing it's like pitched as like a fun exercise class, almost like how they've got twerking classes now, or they've got pole dancing classes, which are pitched as
this ain't pitched. This ain't pitched as exercise. This is very literally what it is.
But you gotta have the mega knees. I mean, sorry. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea for people that need it, or feel like they need it. And it's obviously going to be a bit of fun. It might not be that serious. And I guess, because there's this thing, like, not a lot of women like being on top. And that's just facts. They think it's a lot of work. They feel like it's a lot of work, or they're not confident with their body in that way and stuff like that. And so, yeah, props to you if you want to improve in that area and you decide to take a class, and props to the woman for providing a space for them to do that. I think we've gone other times where people are hush quiet about sex and stuff like that. So yeah, cool.
I think if you want to learn, you should have a space to do that.
The girls need to get their technique up, because these AI sex dolls are,
and when
any position, boy. If they want the knee up here, their knee can go up here. All the AI girls, they can do any position.
Mad. So the other viral clip, this one was viral actually about 2 weeks or so ago, maybe more. But it was but the only way I can explain it is chat get bang personified.
Okay.
Because that's what it was. A guy was outside Box Park. I think it was Wembley. Could have been Croydon. and he was amping up to the security, which is a scene that we've all seen a million times outside of a million clubs, except he didn't know that the security guard that he was amping up to is none other than British boxing heavyweight champion, Julius Francis. So he's doing his whole Mandem performance, and then he held one. So you obviously know he got knocked out. But the reason why it was hilarious to me is because that is the same as Anthony Joshua in 20 years, 30 years from now, not being heavyweight champion, not necessarily having all the money in the world, just working a humble job, just keeping it calm. You don't know who people are.
This is what I'm saying. This is why all them people that try to come for me all the time, all them trolls, don't let me catch you outside. You don't know. Let me relax.
She's a ninja, you know. Black
don't
belt.
know about me. Let me tell you. No, I'm...
Why you digging it up and then taking it back? You can't push and pull. Not push and pull.
I can push and pull, and I will push and pull you if you mess with me.
Mad.
Yes. But social media, in particular, has got people thinking they can say what they like without repercussions, and people are trying to bring that into the real world. And then, like you said, get banged. Yes. Don't walk around thinking you're the biggest and baddest. There's always someone bigger and badder than you. Case in point.
Literally. And that whole scenario, you can watch it. If you can watch this video and just focus on a different person every time you watch it, and you'll see so many different stories. There was even this white guy, a friend of the guy who got knocked out. And when his friend was, getting a little bit rough with the security guards, he was all in their face energy. Really? As soon as his friend took that KO punch, he was calm. He was considerate. Relaxed. He was using his words and the vocabulary. It's wild.
Yeah, he saw it and he said, "It's enough. Yeah. It's enough." Yeah.
Man.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. People think that they can talk and do what they want because they think they're not going to get any repercussions. They want to do bad guy, bad girls. Okay. And then when something happens now, it's, wow, I don't know. I never experienced it. Well, you should have thought about it before you started talking wicked and bad.
Doing yabba yabba.
You was giving it, pumping your chest. Now who's on the floor?
Mad.
Good for him. Good for him for showing him, because like you said, we've seen so many people get drunk, come outside, start talking to security people anyhow. Like, they're humans as well. People that work in the general public, they see so much, like bus drivers, security guards, staff at like clothing stores, supermarkets, like they get spoken to anyhow, cleaners. These are people that a lot of them are even like are educated. A lot of them are educated. A lot of them, it's circumstance that has them where they're at. And you think because you're dissatisfied with a little something, you can't speak to them with some respect because you think that they're lower than you. And then when they show you the real, you're surprised.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not Twitter where you're going to say what you want. People might respond or not respond and cuss you out, and that's the end of it. You get banged in the face. All it takes is for you to say the wrong thing to the wrong person, and your life is...
It's a long day. All of a sudden,
all of a sudden the day is very long. It's very long. Very. And your life has changed. See? See now? Main topic. It's the drink.
Okay, yeah, we will blame the drink. It's okay.
It's the blame it on the alcohol. Look at you taking swings.
Have to.
The timing. Oh,
just a little.
Okay, let's get serious. Unpicked. David Whiteley, aka previously known as Sideman, had some comments to make about Faith. He's currently rebranding, so going forward, I'm just going to call him David Whiteley. Respect for the guy and that. Okay, so he said, this idea that where you are born determines your religion presumes that because someone says they are Christian or a Muslim, that they actually are, and that they are living by the principles of their belief system. I can call myself a pilot right now, but I can't really fly a plane. 98% of Christians follow about 10% of the Bible, and I would actually argue that's because of where they are born, because the religion has become more tradition than something they truly believe and follow. It's what their daddy believed and his daddy before him, so that's what they believe. That is not true faith. That's not something you can make a statistic out of, because only God knows the heart and the things we do in the dark. Man like David Whiteley.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going to unpick faith.
Faith itself.
And we're going to be talking mainly about religion.
Yeah. This is part one of many faith.
I don't know about that. We'll see. If I get triggered, this might be the one and only.
Part one of many faith discussions. I agreed with what I understood to be the sentiments of what David was saying, Mr. Sideman, where he was saying that a lot of people are of certain faiths simply because of where they were born. Yeah. And this was one of the first things that I sort of flagged as an issue point for me personally with regards to Christianity, Catholicism, where it kind of described non-Christians, or actually was it non-Jews, as Gentiles in the Bible. And then, eventually just through thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, but like, I don't know, what if you was born in Kazakhstan, like at this moment in time when Jesus arrived, you wouldn't even have known of Christianity, so you by default would have been a Gentile. And I didn't like the descriptions, if you know what I mean, of being a non and being a Jew. So so I at a very young age understood, this is just a question of where you're born and then being classified as a religious belief based on where you're born.
So with me, I was born into the Islamic faith. That's what I was born into. Mm-hmm. And if I had stuck by my faith is determined by where I'm born or whatever faith I'm born into, then I would have stayed as a Muslim. But my belief is that your relationship with God is private and it's determined by the actual connection that you feel with God. It's not about whatever you was born into. Mm-hmm. And I know other people would have different feelings about that. I know in particular a lot of Muslims that I've spoken to about this have like almost outwardly judged me for it and be like, but you're always a Muslim, you're always going to be a Muslim. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you stepped away from your faith, and it's like, well, that was never my faith because I never truly believed in it.
Yeah, because you didn't choose it.
Well, I didn't feel connected to God in that faith. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean other people don't, but I didn't.
Yeah, but I guess the difference there is, and this does speak slightly to what David says, not entirely, but slightly, is that you were born here in England, whereby you are exposed to more than one religion.
If I was born in Nigeria, I still would have been exposed to Christianity.
Yeah. But in certain other places, you wouldn't have, or the percentage chance of you being exposed to other religions becomes lower and lower. Or if you say the same place, but a different time in history.
I disagree, because the biggest religions in the world are Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, and Sikhism. And you find them all around the world. Even in countries where it might appear that one is most dominant, mm-hmm. you still find the others there. So, for example, if you was to take predominantly Muslim countries, they would still be, even if it's a smaller population mm-hmm. who are Christian, you still find that religion there. Now, if you was to take those countries as an example, you could apply the logic that I guess David is saying, and to an extent what you're saying, then you'd be thinking, then how did that small minority of people become Christians if the majority of their environment and what they've been born into is Muslim? How did they come to connect with the Christian faith? Now, if we were to take it into Africa, people will argue that all Africans, we used to pray to ancestors, we used to pray to shrines, we used to pray to our own deities and gods. And people believe, and I guess there's proof to show that it was when the countries were colonized that religions like Christianity came in to play. Islam was always kind of there because it was always up north, and up north is closest to where some of the other
like Muslim the Arab nations are.
Yeah, exactly. So, but Christianity itself, that's always been a question. But then there's people who have seen other versions of the Bible in Ethiopia where there's a lot more chapters and verses that were taken out by the white man, and they in their Bibles are predominantly black. So everybody in the pictures and stuff were black people. Jesus was black. All of the I guess if you want to call them prophets and speakers were black and stuff like that. So when it comes to the idea that where you're born predominantly dictates what you're exposed to and or predominantly tells you what your faith would be, I still would disagree with that, because of what I know about these things that I've just explained, and also because of my own experience. There was a time where I was Christian secretly.
Yeah.
Even though like I live in the UK and it should be fine to be a Christian out in the open. Even in this podcast, you know, sometimes when I talk about my faith, I still at the back of my mind have that feeling of, oh wow, you're talking about your faith so openly, your family could see this.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, never.
And I live in the UK. Do you know what I mean? And I was born here. Do you understand me? So I get what you're saying about I've been exposed to other faiths because I live here. But there's people who've experienced what I've experienced in a much more dangerous and bigger scale. And they're learning the Bible privately, secretly, sharing the Bible secretly, because they're not allowed to, because their country's predominantly another faith.
Yeah. The whole fact that where you are from dictates what religion you'll follow is, to me, is still the crux of it, because, and I get that you were saying, you know, that you were born into one faith and then you chose another, but that faith was available to choose. And also, when you were born, this definitely was not a liberal, in terms of being religious, a liberal country, to maybe to the degree that you may consider it now. So the Muslim faith and the Muslim way was very much a different way, and the main way was a Christian way. So that may even impact.
I disagree.
That may even impact your experience as a young person having a faith that is definitely different to the norm.
No, I think way before I was born, but I'm not that old. I remember. No. Yeah. Like, no, you need to relax. Like, when I was growing up, it was like, yeah, I don't agree with that, what you've said. I think maybe way before our time, but I think when I was young anyway, I don't remember it feeling like a predominantly Christian country. I think the same way that it's been multicultural, it's been multi-faith for as far back as I can remember, personally.
I mean,
the only difference is that, and it's still the same way today, is that bank holidays are solely around Christian holidays. But it doesn't mean that schools and other institutions don't recognize that there's other faiths, and that it's always been like that from when I can remember, from as far back as I can remember.
Yeah, I mean, the recognition is not. Yes,
but it's never going to be, because this is a predominantly Christian country.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. If you're growing up in that space.
But then I know people who've gone from being born in a Christian faith to converting to Islam.
Yeah, of course.
So, and they're living in a predominantly Christian country. So I get what you're saying, but I also think that you can't generalize it like that. You can't say, oh, you know, I guess you was, because what it sounds like you're saying to me is you was exposed to Christianity because this is a Christian country. That's what you're saying, right? Yeah,
100%.
Okay, well, but I disagree, because there's also proof that people can go the other way.
No.
Opposing way that
doesn't mean that's why.
So I don't think it's got any.
But I'm saying I'm not saying that's not.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's why I chose it. I'm not saying that you're saying that I'm saying that. I'm saying that the argument in of itself is disproved by the fact that people who are Christian convert to other faiths. And they are also living in a country that's predominantly Christian.
Yeah, but more time the faiths that they choose are faiths that are now present in this country.
But all faiths are present in this country and have always been.
Not always been. Because Christianity is only 2,000
as
years
soon
old.
As soon as this country started opening itself to accept other cultures into its country, all other types of faith were coming in. When Asians came here before Africans, their faiths were here. That means Sikhism and Hinduism was in this country, and Islam. Then Africans, Caribbeans and all that. And even now we're seeing more spirituality. We're seeing more, like people moving into worshipping the universe, more or less, and all that manifesting and all that stuff. That's becoming more the craze now. But the moment this country opened itself up to be multicultural, it opened itself up to have multi-faith, multi-religion. It while still being predominantly Christian, because it's a Christian country fundamentally. So I think now everyone's just more open about everything. Like I said earlier, people are more comfortable talking about sex more openly than ever before. And so naturally everything else that people would have done quietly or hush hush is now also being spoken about more openly, including the differences in faith and religious beliefs. But that doesn't mean that those religious beliefs and stuff were not there before and were not accessible before. When I was in school and they used to teach religious studies, they didn't just teach me about Christianity. They taught me about Sikhism, Hinduism. They taught me about Judaism. They taught me everything.
Yeah, no, my
I didn't go to a faith school. I went to a normal public school. So they taught me everything. They were considerate to the fact that we're not a faith school, so it's important for you to learn about all faiths. I reckon if I had gone to a religious school, a faith school, then my experience would be different. Why? Because you go to that faith school because you're supposedly part of that faith. You can't go to a Jewish school unless you prove you're Jewish. You have to prove your mother is a Jewish person. My brother went to a Jewish school for secondary school at the same year that they opened themselves up to accepting other faiths into their school. Prior to that school was 100% Jewish school. And he had friends who were Jewish, and they explained that they had to prove that they were Jewish. They had to prove they were born into the Jewish faith. They had to prove they came from a mother who was Jewish in order for them to go to that school. So
very interesting as well. They had to prove they come from a mother.
Yeah. That their because converting into Judaism isn't easy. It takes a long time. It takes a long time. There's a lot of learning behind it. So you can convert into it, but because of how long it is and, because of their belief around their faith, it's not just, oh yeah, I converted yesterday, now I'm going to come to your school as a Jewish student. It doesn't work like that. You have to prove that you've been in the faith, that you're in do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember back then they were like, oh yeah, you need to, if you're saying you're coming as a Jewish student, you need to provide proof that your mum is Jewish. That was their expectation. I have friends that went to Catholic school and they were able to get, there was one school in North London where they wanted like a letter from the Pope or something like that to prove that, your family and yourself is part of the Catholic faith. So it's and I don't know what they do in Muslim schools because we never went to a Muslim school in my family, but I know if you went to a faith school, it's a different ball game. But if you went to a school like me, public school, that wasn't faith led, we learned everything. We learned all the faiths equally. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I get the sentiment and I get the expectation. I get the argument. I guess it depends on your experience personally and what you was exposed to when you were younger. But I also believe that if you are God-fearing and that you believe in God irrespective, you're going to find your way to God in whatever way you feel is the right way for you. So like, do you believe that God exists?
Yeah, of course.
You do?
Of course, 100%.
So do you, I guess, I'm probably wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. I guess you don't feel that you fit into any faith, or do you?
So I was born into a Catholic family.
Mm-hmm.
I've been baptized, confirmed, went to Roman Catholic school,
Mm-hmm.
learned more about the faith and more about the society at the same time, I guess. Reached a
Yeah.
point where, actually, let me reverse. Went to college, met loads of people from different faiths.
Yeah.
Had a few friends of different backgrounds who were converted to Islam. So
Mm-hmm.
I asked them, to mild education. I'm not trying to convert.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me about your journey.
Yeah.
Learn about some of what they were thinking and feeling. Felt like it
Mm-hmm.
appealed to me to a degree,
Okay.
but also wasn't ever really a fan of religion. So,
Okay.
um, so with that being said, I knew that Christianity wasn't particularly for me. Hadn't ever heard of a religion that was for me. I liked the premise and I like some of the structure and beliefs within Islam, but
Okay.
again, religion is not for me. I know this, so
Yeah.
I sort of more so went on a quest to, I guess, just understand what it was all for. And
Okay.
where I arrived with that was, that it's clear to see religion is very helpful in controlling large amounts of people. Because if you leave
Mm-hmm.
large amounts of people, i.e., the world, to their own devices, you just get chaos.
Yeah.
And religions
Yeah.
existed long before governments because there was no way to get, um, that kind of consensus of belief.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't
Mm-hmm.
just say, "Hi, I'm Shay. I'm the or Venom. Sorry. Hi, I'm Venom. I'm the mayor of this town. Everybody listen to me. I
Mm.
have our best intentions at hand. Just do as I
Yeah.
say." That's not going to run.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
It's
have
not.
to you
Mm.
have to employ a system that people can actually believe in. And oddly
Mm.
enough, the best system is to ask people to believe in something that they cannot see, something that is more than what they can understand. And then they can at least humble themselves enough to be like, I'll accept it because it came from something that I can't even conceive. I can't even comprehend how amazing this thing is. I'll listen.
Yeah.
And then from that
Yeah.
point, because if you look at it, you look at all the countries, you'll see that first came religion and then came government. To me, that says it was always government. Not that religion, I'm not here for religion. Not that God doesn't exist, but that the employment of religion in any country has always been to the end goal of controlling the people, to have
Mm.
order. It's not a bad thing. Having order is for everyone's benefit. Otherwise, you just have people just trying to do whatever they want, which
Mm.
is a very ugly world. It might not sound it, but it's wild. So yeah. So once I realized that that's what I believe the purpose of religion is for, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
feel myself needing to be controlled because I think I have a very good moral compass, then I thought, well, then I guess the connection, it needs to be direct because I don't need someone to authorize my connection. So that's why I've
So how
chose.
do you do that then?
How do I?
How do you connect to God?
I feel like I'm always connected. I don't think there's like a specific action that I do. I think that my life is a connection that I act through, or rather, I connect through my actions.
Okay, and how do you know that you're living your life the way God intends for you to?
Because God made me. So whatever I do is His intention.
Okay, and do you believe that there's an enemy?
An enemy of
So do you
God.
believe do you
Yeah,
believe that
I
there's the
believe
devil?
that God and the devil exist in all men, or all men and
Okay.
women, in all
So
humans.
okay, lovely. So how do you know that what you're doing is how God intended, or that you're not being used for the devil's
Oh, because you
work?
can feel it.
How can you feel it?
I know. I I know. I don't know how to articulate that. I know, And it's not so much that, I know when I'm doing God's work. Maybe not.
Not God's work. Well, I'm not saying God's work. I'm saying how do you know? Because in order for in order for you to believe in God and believe in the devil, then you're basically subscribing to the notion that there's good deeds and bad deeds.
Yeah.
There's good actions, bad actions. Of course. There's things that come from the devil. There's things that come from God. And I'm asking you, how do you decipher between the two? How do you discern?
So I don't necessarily believe that the things come from God and come from the devil. They come from within. But
you think that
No. I believe that there's a God and that there's a devil. But I wouldn't necessarily say that I believe that these actions or deeds come from them. I believe that my actions are in either one of their favor.
Okay.
And ultimately, it doesn't matter somebody's religious beliefs, creed, or whatever. You can act in such a way that benefits others, benefits the world, creates a more harmonious existence or a happier environment, or you can do the opposite.
Okay.
And I think it's as simple as that. I feel like if you're spreading love or creating harmony or, you know what I mean, serving others in your actions to the good of others, to the betterment of others, that is God's work, in my opinion.
I guess you've given your backstory. I've not given mine, not really. So I was born into a Muslim family. From as far back as I could remember, I didn't connect. And I knew that I wouldn't be a Muslim growing up. My family is quite liberal but quite traditional at the same time. So I always said to myself, I'm just not gonna marry a Muslim. That would be the easiest way for me to get out of the faith. And I just want to say my family are really liberal, by the way. Like, they're not like mad strict, if that makes sense. They just have strong beliefs, basically. On my dad's side, my dad actually went to a Catholic school, because that was the closest school that he could get into back home. So he's very well versed in the Bible, front to back to front. And some of his siblings, I guess, I don't know if it was because of that, but they're in the Christian faith. So growing up, I went to many family functions where we would be doing prayers the Christian way, and then shortly afterwards, the Muslims in the family would do their prayers on top, if that makes sense. And I think that's quite normal in a lot of Nigerian households. I can't say for anywhere else, but I know in Nigerian households it's quite common. And then I just stuck with the Islamic faith out of respect for my parents and my grandmother, who I was really close to, my mum's mum. She passed away when I was 15, and off the back of that, my parents then became very religious. So before that, they weren't. They were very liberal, like not really going to any house of faith, if I can put it that way. They weren't going to church. They weren't going to mosque. They were just living their lives. Because I was always with my grandma, I would go to my grandma's house, and then I would go to mosque with her. So that's how I got exposed to Islam. But I just went because I'm spending time with my grandma, and
I did the same thing.
Playing with my friends at mosque. I'd go to the Arabic classes, wouldn't pay attention because I didn't care. I'd be the one that they're always going to report to my grandma that Dami was disrupting the class because I didn't care. I wasn't interested. But anyway, my parents got really close got into the faith and then became practicing Muslims. And my dad has always been what I would call God-fearing. He's always been about God. I feel like that man, no matter what faith he's into, he's riding hard. Do you understand me? That's just how he is. So when he, was practicing, still is. I remember he was very much like, okay, now as a family, we must all. He felt very like compelled that the whole family must go to mosque. We must follow the faith. We must observe all the holy holidays and stuff like that. But I then went to uni, moved out for uni as some of us do. And for me, faith is your faith is part of your identity.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, and I'm very strong on my identity. I've never liked it when anyone has come for my identity, whether that be that I'm Nigerian, that I'm a woman, that I'm, do you know what I mean? Like when it comes to I don't play. And in uni, I remember someone literally was like trying to force feed the Bible down my throat. So out of an act of rebellion, I said, "Nah, I'm not doing that." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm not interested in Christianity." No, basically, because of the way that person. I told you I'm petty. Okay. So fast forward a few years later, I went to a event at church with my friend because she invited all her girls to come church with her. So I went, and it opened like, it's not the first time I'd been to a church service or stuff like that. But I felt for the first time in my life, I felt connected to God. I felt a connection. And then I remember going home and telling my parents, I think I'm going to start going to church now, because we were a liberal family and I could talk to them about anything. So when I dropped that, my dad was really upset. And then I realised, oh, we're liberal, but this is a sore topic. I see. So I was like, okay, cool. He was like, you haven't even given Islam a try. I'm like, what? I've given all 21 years of my life. You know, like, and it's not for me. So how much more should I give? But okay, fine. I'll come with you, like, a little bit. So when I moved back home from uni, I went to mosque a little bit, and then after a while I just was like, I'm not going anymore. And the turning point for me was one time we was in mosque and everyone was praying and I started crying, and I was crying because I felt like I was misplaced. I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. I don't feel like I'm praying to anyone. I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I'm just here. And it almost felt like, and I don't want to offend anyone, but for me personally, it felt like I was doing the wrong thing by God for being there. So after that, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go. It's not for me. I don't feel connected. It's not for me. So I stopped going. And then when I moved out some years later, then I started going to church by myself. Even once I was at my parents' house, I owned a Bible. They didn't know. Or they might have known, but I just never read it in front of them. I would go to church secretly just because I just didn't want to, not that my parents would like disown me or anything, but I just didn't want to have that conversation with my dad because I knew he was so into the Islamic faith, and he would be so disappointed. And I just didn't want to disappoint him. So I was just like, you know what? When you're not living under their roof, you can do what you like.
When you're your own person, you're your own person. And that's,
you're your own person. So so out of respect for him, we just didn't talk about it. But when I moved out, I was like Christian and strong. And now whenever we have conversations about faith and we talk about God, I'm always the one with, well, the Bible says. And they've just, well, she's praying.
They accept it, I definitely hear you on that feeling, not feeling out of place, but feeling like, you say feeling like you not kind of felt like you was doing the wrong thing or not doing the right thing. I was in a very similar situation where I was with a group of friends of mine. This big group of girls, lovely girls, and like we'd all been like crazy youngsters for a moment in time, rebellious teens, and they were coming into their woman phase, as in from a young woman to a you know, I mean, I'm gonna start to be a woman. That's the phase that they had reached, and I'm not sure who, but someone in the group had exposed them to I'm gonna say a young church. I'm not entirely sure. I just remember one person from this group, but it was a young church of like born again Christians, and they were basically trying to cultivate, you know, Christianity amongst young people. So so
evangelizing heavy.
Exactly. So they had invited all of the friends and the extended friends to one of these girls' houses to basically to pray. And I remember arriving and seeing everyone. I was like, oh yeah. And then these guys walked in there who I'd never seen, because it was a very girl heavy group. So I knew the guys, if you know what I mean. And I was like, oh, I don't know these. Oh, these are the guys. Cool. Then they started praying and it got really intense, and I felt it.
Very quick.
And then they started praying a bit harder, and then some people started crying, and then they started, you know, praying over people and encouraging people to speak in tongues and stuff like that. And I was just like, like, I didn't want to say anything offensive. I didn't want to, but you know when you're.
This is why. Yeah, I know. That's why just now I was like, I don't want to be offensive because obviously people.
Some people believe this. Do you know what I mean?
And
it means something
and they
to them.
feel it, and you know that you just got to be really sensitive with this topic, really. But yeah, I totally get where you don't need to. I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get it.
And they reached me, and I was like, does this mean I'm the devil? I don't know, because I'm feeling absolutely nothing.
Nah. It's just not for you. It's just for you.
Yeah.
It's just not for you. And you know, we're evolving. People evolve over time. It might not be for you now. You never know, Venom. When we're still rocking on this podcast at 40,
I'm telling
Venom will be into his 40s by the time I'm 40.
Wow.
By that point, you might be like, you know what, Dammy? I saw something on Instagram, and
still on Instagram, you know, 40. Man. Actually,
can you imagine?
It's actually realistic. It's not even unrealistic.
Yeah, it's not unrealistic. Twitter's been there for how long?
You know,
Facebook's been there for how long? I saw something and it got me, and I went back and I read the Bible again, and I decided I'm going to read the Bible fully. I'm like, all right, cool. And then next thing you know, you're like, you know what? Yeah, I gave my life to Christ. I'm like, wow, Dammy, your job here is done.
Wow. We
spoke about Christianity enough.
I'm not even going to lie. I literally don't even see that as, you know, you last episode you was talking about there's multiple galaxies. Yeah, we just haven't found them, and in them, maybe one of them, Venom is a Christian. That one doesn't exist. I'm telling you now.
You say that.
The only way,
you never know.
The only way that could ever happen is if in that galaxy, that Venom never went to Ghana and saw the castles. It's impossible. It's impossible because it's impossible.
So what was it about those castles that...
For me, with the castles, I'll just give everybody a quick backstory. I went to Ghana. There's castles along the coast of Ghana. These are the castles that 90% of all slaves who were taken from Africa into the transatlantic slave trade, they went through these castles. The issue with these castles is that they were all occupied by Christian other countries, like Portuguese, obviously England, I think Germany at one point, who all practiced the faith in the castles. And the way that these castles are constructed, the female slave chamber is literally below the church, to the point where you'd be able to smell them, you'd be able to hear them crying, and these people would be praying to the same, you know, using the same text. It's impossible because, and this is why I'm about, and it's not a worship and idolization, but this is why I'm about people first, is because I think people have done heinous things thinking that it was God's work. But I know if people are benefiting, it can only be God's work. And I cannot confuse.
No, the reason why they did those evil things is because they were benefiting other humans, not benefiting God. That's
no,
why
yeah, they
were.
they were benefiting other humans.
So I think people that use faith, I think the reverse. I think people that use faith to do these heathen things, it's because they've idolized people. They've idolized something that is not God. If you, I don't know if you've actually read the Bible, because Catholicism and Christianity is different.
Yeah.
They're not the same. And the way in which they worship is different. Their belief system is different. But if you've actually read the Bible, especially Jesus's teachings, Jesus went to the people that some so-called Christians today would never talk to. He went to the beggars in the street. He went to the prostitutes. He went to people that you're like, if they walked up to you on the road, you'd be like, how dare you talk to me? That's the people he was going to. So if
because Jesus was for the people.
He was for the people, but he was doing it because he was doing God's work. He wasn't doing it as I'm doing it to better the world. He was doing it out of worship for God, out of service to God, because he is God. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah. So if you are a person of the Christian faith, you believe that Jesus is your Lord and Savior. That's why I frame it like that. That's why I'm not like, I'm a Christian religion. I say, if you go back to previous, you hear me, I'm of the faith, or, you know, I believe in, do you know what I mean? Like, that's how I word it. If you believe that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior and you follow his teachings and his way of life, then you would not do those things. It's because you've taken the word and you've changed it. Same things with like Muslims who were doing the bombings, yeah? True Muslims do not accept them as Muslims because they're like, no, you did that for your own personal gain. You did that for your own perception of what humanity should be. Slavery, do you know what? I'm in that. It's hard because I know that my ancestors were probably not even though I come from a Muslim family, I don't even think my ancestors, whatever
enslaved,
were even practicing Islam. I'm of Yoruba descent. I know that my ancestors back in the day were praying to deities and gods. And there's people in like Brazil that still follow the original Yoruba like faith, if that makes sense. And because I know that now, I'm like, rah, okay. But does that change my belief? No. It's good to know, cool, but I don't know. And do you know what? Because we've got so much knowledge available to us, the more we learn about our culture and our past predecessors, our ancestors, the more it's like, I reckon I'm the kind of person that's more likely to believe the Christian faith has been whitewashed than for me to believe that I'm just gonna forego Christianity altogether.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
No, I agree. I mean, I've had
simply because I know that if going back to Ethiopia, they read the Bible, but they read the Bible that was there before these European countries came in and said, this is what Christianity is. They read the old school Bible, which means they read everything, not what they chose and selected for us to believe in and read. So,
and the new names
I guess
as
that's
well.
what, and all the new names. And I guess that's what makes me comfortable still believing in that faith.
This is
the fact that I know that it was still a faith. It was still the same faith before they came, and
it's a faith that precedes white European colonialism.
Yeah, and what they did with it, and and how they whitewashed it.
Again, the issue that I have with it, that I also can't strip out, is the rewriting, the renaming, because it's the psychological level of it. I was having this conversation literally the other day. It's not necessarily the direct things, because I don't think there are any things that are directly negatively impactful that are obvious. But for example, the renaming is important because names give identity, and these identities are now white. So anybody you see, you're talking about the disciples, you're seeing white people, you're imagining white people. Even the angels in the original text had no name. Now they have white names. So now even heaven has white people in it, not angels, if you understand what I mean. They have form, not form. Even Jesus has been depicted one way. Everybody knows that Jesus cannot be white with blonde hair and blue eyes. Impossible. He would have died in the desert. 40 days and 40 nights, dead.
Well, given how he was born and where he was born, he definitely was dark featured.
Yeah,
100%.
He can't.
So was
he
all
can't
the
be,
people of that time.
I'm not saying he was
Everyone
dark
in
like
that
me.
time.
I'm just saying that he cannot be what he's been depicted as. Otherwise, he would not survive in the desert. That's not conducive. But I will also say that the second I see Jesus written down or hear someone say Jesus, the first thing I think of is a white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes, without fail.
Not me, boy. Not me, boy.
And that is the same image that will permeate the minds of most or a lot of people who
probably.
And this is again part of my problem. And then when you
but then it's not. But then that's not the fault.
The slave. No, but I mean it's the whole thing. Because I'm like,
but it's not the fault of the faith. That's the fault. Okay,
that's what's happened. That's what's happened.
I get it. I get your perspective. For me personally, I know that the Christian faith, the belief system behind the Christian faith was there before the whites came and called it Christianity and gave it its names. So that's why you always hear me piping on about go and learn it, go and read it, because the stories are still the same. The names are different, fair enough, but the stories are still the same. The teachings are still the same. The fundamental is still the same. And I'm not gonna pie it off or completely eradicate it from my life just because it's been whitewashed. When I genuinely, like, I can never turn my back on my faith, because I know that personally I've been in situations, and if it wasn't for my faith, I wouldn't be here today. Like, I've spoken a little bit about mental health. Like, I know what I've suffered mentally. And it was my faith that stopped me from saying, I give up. I'm going to make that decision to end my days.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So I can never, personally, I could never turn my back on that faith. Because that faith is the reason why I'm here talking to you today on this podcast. Do you see what I'm saying? And fundamentally, it was the teachings and the connection that I had with God through that faith that has kept me here today. It's kept me going. It's kept me strong. That's why, for me, my faith is the biggest part of my identity. And I hear all the stuff you spoke about. I hear it and I get it. But because I've had experience without this faith, and I've had experience with it, and I know which one, I know which one kept me going. I know which one has edified me, and it's definitely not the one without it. The one without it has left me depressed. It's left me anxious. It's left me questioning why I'm here in the first place. It's left me confused. It's left me making decisions that were not for my own peace of mind. I've never experienced faith as a true peace, inner peace, until I connected with God in this way. And I'm not going to give that up.
Everybody gets their charge from somewhere. Something powers them up. And so if this powers you up and this leads you to do right, because my thing is all about, do you know what I mean? It's simple. It's the simple betterment. It just elevates everybody's existence. So if you believe this and this is what leads you to the same outcome, then get your power. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
And if it means you need to be a Jew, then be a Jew. If you need to be a Sikh, then be a Sikh. If you need to be, you know what I mean, like a monk.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So long as the outcome doesn't change.
As a person, and because I have respect for everyone and their beliefs, I'm not going to sit here and force my belief on anyone. And I'm also not going to say that I know what the word says about people that don't follow, but I'm not going to actively judge and be like, well, boy, you're going to hell.
I mean, no one should judge, but just on the point that you've made, about the word, what it says about those who do not follow. This is where, when I was all the way back in school and was studying RE, this is where I was like, no, it doesn't make sense. And this is why I agree with what David said. It's because even, let's say, for example, the indigenous people of Australia, the indigenous people of the Caribbean, the people who are not even connected to society, who have zero exposure to Christianity, they will not be following the word. And I know very well that God, or the God that I serve, has not condemned these people to hell. They do not.
That's the God you serve.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's what I'm saying. The God that I serve has not condemned these people to hell. It's impossible.
Cool.
They would never in their life have ever come across Jesus. So it doesn't even make sense to fathom that these people could happily and blissfully and peacefully exist and die and go to hell just for existing, having done nothing wrong. It's impossible.
Yeah.
By my belief.
Yeah. By your belief. My belief is, if you're not God's,
they're on the barbecue.
People. Listen, lords, please, when the trumpets are doing the call, please let me be amongst. Please don't leave me here. Please don't leave me here.
I'm telling you now, if we're both here, then we're doing the Rapture Review episode. That's what I'm saying.
Don't worry, I'll tune in from heaven.
You're tuning in, so you think you're gonna be gone and I'll be here?
I'm not saying that.
I didn't say you said
you're
that.
The one
I'm asking.
But if it comes to that, I would tune in from heaven.
Jeez.
I'll be like, Lord, there's this thing I was doing down there. I used to talk about you all the time. You're gonna allow it? Cool. It can go down. One special.
Mad.
You'll be like, Dami Zayn. I'm like, Dami Zayn in the heavens.
Wow.
It's your whole slice, Dami Zayn from the heavens. Not in the building. From the
From
heavens,
the heavens.
we say.
Nah. That's a lot.
What you saying? How you doing?
Living different, you know?
Yo, my skin will be fresh. I'm like, yo, guys, I am happy, yo. What? How you lot doing down there? You cool, yeah?
Mad. Mad.
No, let me not blaspheme. Let me not blaspheme still. We do hope that we've not offended anyone in this episode. We've tried to talk about it openly.
We've tried
and openly, honestly. We will always try and be real, but we just don't want to offend anyone. Everyone has their own belief system and their own faith, and I respect all of that, and I just want to make that clear. This is probably why most employee handbooks, religion is one that you do not talk about, because it's just so techie. But we hope we've been able to have this conversation in a way that doesn't offend anybody. Yeah, that's really important for me to say. But yeah, in the comments, let us know, boy. Let us know how you feel about, I guess, conventional, can I call it conventional? Secular religion?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that in relation to slavery, as Venom mentioned? How do you feel that you connect to God? And also, what are your comments about David Whiteley's statements as well? We'd be really interested to know. And if there's anything that we've discussed today that you would like us to kind of delve a bit deeper on, do let us know in the comments as well. We'd be interested to hear it. Please, respectful comments only. This is probably an episode where we've shared the most about ourselves. And I was a bit wary about sharing some of these things, so I would just hate to see a comment that was disrespectful. It will actually annoy me. Let me just keep it a buck. So just keep it respectful, please, for us and also for other viewers that watch and listen to us. And we're going to leave it there. As usual, socials are in the bottom of the screen. And yeah, give us a follow, hit us up. Thank you so much for watching if you got this far, and we will see you next week. Peace.